Hi everyone, my name is Rachel Cohen and I am passionate about helping more people get on bikes regardless of what that looks like. So I'm here to talk to you today about preparing to ride the Vermont Overland, whether you have ambitions to ride at the front of the pack or are looking to complete the event for the first time. The next 3 modules that you're going to see in this series are going to introduce you to the course. We'll talk about what you can expect on race day. We'll talk about race day nutrition and bike setup and have you arriving at the Vermont Overland feeling ready and prepared to be your best on race day. The Vermont Overland has been running for almost 10 years and I've participated in the last 5 or so Overlands. I can remember riding right from the original owner Peter's house, and now I'm thrilled to attend the Vermont Overland based out of Ascutney Outdoors every August. What is really special about the Vermont Overland is that it showcases some of the most incredible and the most challenging roads in Vermont. So you start out on pavement. Pretty immediately you're riding through some pretty twisty and turny, gorgeous dirt roads, checking out a couple different covered bridges, and also navigating through lots and lots of Class 4 sections, higher percentage of Class 4 than any other race in Vermont and probably the United States. Even though this race is only 40 to 60 miles on any given year, this is always a race in which you have to totally empty the tank on race day. The elevation, the mixed terrain, mixed surfaces, the punchy climbs and really challenging descents, there is hardly any opportunity to rest and recover while you're out on course. So while these 3 modules are going to cover lots of preparation for race day, the actual webinar will be going through the entire course. We'll talk through what every turn looks like, what each Class 4 looks like, where the aid stations are, so you'll be able to have a really good sense of what's coming for you the last weekend in August. So the terrain is really varied. You know, you'll start off on some really nice, smooth gravel dirt roads, and then quickly you're on a Class 4 road, which is an unmaintained road here in Vermont, where you might find yourself off the bike, kind of navigating through what'll feel like a stream bed. There are other Class 4 roads on this course that are just beautiful, sinuous trails through an open field, like the one I'm standing in today. So get excited to take in some incredible scenery on the Overland course. There will definitely be some sections that are challenging where only some of the very top professional riders are going to be able to ride it. And there are also sections where you can just kind of relax and take in the incredible scenery that Vermont has to offer. So let's say you're approaching a Class 4 road and you're in a group of 10 or 15 people, and you can see that the terrain transitions to something pretty challenging up ahead. What I would do is I would start to think about the gearing that I want to be in as I approach this. I'd downshift so that I'm able to really navigate my bike through ruts and rocks and roots and easily be able to kind of make fine-tune adjustments as I'm approaching this section of trail. I would be looking for the path of least resistance. So I would be kind of scanning the trail ahead of me and looking for a place where I think that I can kind of navigate my way up through. And I'd be looking to the riders in front of me to see what line they're choosing. Is it a good one? And are they able to ascend pretty effortlessly? Or are they getting knocked off their bike? And might it be more advantageous for me to think about something a little bit different for myself? Another thing I'm thinking about when I'm ascending Class 4 roads is I'm trying to be kind of as light in my hoods as I can. So I'm coming up here, and while I'm looking up and ahead, I'm also, really trying to be as nimble as I can as I'm looking ahead and choosing the path of least resistance through the rocks and roots. I'm looking for dry sections of trail. Oftentimes my tires are going to grab so much better if I can find a spot that's nice and dry, whereas places where the water's collected, I know I'm easily going to slip out there. So I'm looking for dry terrain, I'm looking for the path of least resistance, I'm paying attention to what riders around me are doing. And then as I get to the top and I'm getting ready to descend, I'm gonna remember to downshift. I am going to be on my brakes, whatever's more comfortable for you as a rider. If you prefer to be up in your hoods or if you prefer to be in your drops, that's one thing that you might consider spending some time practicing before race weekend. But you're making some choices about hand placement that are gonna make you feel most comfortable and safe on your descent. And you're getting ready to just flutter your brakes nicely. You're staying in control, not riding out of your comfort zone. Remember that you will not win the Vermont Overland on the downhills. The other thing I'm going to be really mindful of when I'm on Class 4 sections is giving the riders around me plenty of space. So whereas I might be a lot closer to the folks right around me when I'm on a nice, open, flat dirt road where I can see a good distance, when we transition to Class 4, I'm going to give the riders around me at least a couple bike lengths of space. So if everyone gives each other a little bit of space on the Class 4 sections, it's going to be much safer because oftentimes crashes can occur in these more technical sections of trail. But it's also going to allow people to have a better chance of completing the Class 4 staying on your bike. There's less chance that you're going to come up on someone and have to unclip, which will knock you off and force you to walk. So really giving each other the space that we need to be able to navigate through these more challenging sections is really important, both for safety and for continuity of the race. So the start of the race is so special. About 1,000 riders gathering together at Ascutney Outdoors to prepare for the day. There's absolutely nothing like it. That said, 1,000 people starting a bike race together can feel intimidating and scary. So you're gonna wanna choose where in the group you start based on a couple different factors. You wanna think about how competitive you wanna be on race day. And if you're looking to ride with faster riders, you want to place yourself around folks that you think are going to ride about the same pace as you, particularly at the start. That said, if you're out to have a wonderful day and enjoy your time in Vermont and you're not concerned with being in a particular place for the first few miles, I'd recommend starting a little further back, where oftentimes the riders are a bit more spaced out, folks are a little bit less concerned with being in a particular position, and you might find that the general energy in that part of the race is more comfortable for your goals for the day. The whole idea of a mass start is so that everyone is starting this thing at the same time, and it's very, very special to have that kind of opportunity. That said, in order for it to work effectively, riders really need to trust the people around them. One thing I would recommend doing is when you find your spot at the start, say good morning to the people around you. Introduce yourself and talk a little bit about why you're excited to be there that day. That's always one of my favorite parts of lining up for a race, is just to say hello and talk a little bit about why you're thrilled to be at the Vermont Overland. A couple safety considerations when we're riding really tight in a group is you want to be sure that you're not overlapping a wheel with any other rider in front or in back of you. And talking, again, with the people around you is really crucial for the first couple miles. Not making any sudden movements, being able to fine-tune your speed as you're traveling through the town of Brownsville where the race begins. You want to be sure that you're sticking to the line that you've chosen, even on the pavement when you're around all of the other riders. And a great way to do that and to continue to support the community around you is just to let people know what you're doing. So if you're going to change positions anywhere when you're in the mass start, saying, hey, I'm going to move a little bit to the right, or slowing, or if there's an oncoming car, really loudly saying car up. All of those things, all these verbal communications are absolutely imperative for the safety of all of us riders. While the race does start as one big group, it's not long before we're all climbing and the race spreads out pretty quickly. And at that point, you will probably start to emerge with a group that, in all likelihood, you'll be spending a lot of the day with. So a couple key takeaways from this first video. First and foremost, we're doing this to have fun. Show up on race day with a smile on your face, with optimism, say hi to people that you meet at the start, and generally communicate with the riders around you to ensure the safety and enjoyment of everyone. The second big takeaway is that the Vermont Overland course is super special because of the varied terrain. You're gonna get to ride some beautiful pavement, you're gonna get to ride some incredible Class 4 sections, and all throughout the day, you're gonna be navigating through some of the most beautiful dirt roads that Central Vermont has to offer. And the last and most important thing is be prepared on race day. Watch the rest of these modules, attend our webinar, study the route, come to the event with it loaded on your head unit, or have the turn-by-turn navigation loaded onto your phone so you're ready and know where to go. So thanks for watching. This concludes Module 1. In the next video, we'll be covering bike setup and safety. See you soon.